My son, 15-year-old son, died, and yeah, my life just spiralled from then, really.
We're inside HMP Downview, one of 12 female prisons in England and Wales.
I feel like I needed help more than I needed punishing. I think I was in a dark hole that I just couldn't get out of, and I think prison just put me into an even darker hole.
Like most in here, Beth, not her real name, has had a lot of time to reflect on where things went so wrong. In prison for defrauding someone to fund her drug addiction. It was her first offence, but has meant she spent almost 2 years away from her children.
I was their main person that looked after them every day, all day, and all of a sudden that was taken away.
How difficult has it been being away from your children?
I can't even describe it. I hate it. My kids are my life, and all I've done is hurt them, sorry. And I didn't want to hurt them. They're the last people in the world that I ever want to hurt.
Over half of women in prison are mothers. The impact of their incarceration is thought to affect 17,000 children a year.
I ran a home, ran a car, my children went to school. I wasn't a drug user, didn't drink alcohol. And then I got with this guy that was smoking crack and heroin into 6 months of the relationship.
Sophie, as we're calling her, was imprisoned on drug offences. Her children had already been removed from her care because of witnessing harrowing domestic violence against her. After that, her life unravelled.
My mind wasn't right, but I didn't know how to get out of it. I was trapped in this circle. So to me, yeah, okay, you can punish me, but a prison sentence doesn't always mean that's the right punishment.
And what's it like being here now?
It does a lot more damage than it does good. When you hear slamming doors and you're a victim of domestic violence and you hear banging and arguments and shouting, it's reliving trauma.
It's experiences like Sophie and Beth's that will drive the government's newly formed Women's Justice Board to explore alternatives to prison like rehabilitation, women's centres and tagging.
This is really exciting, and this is something that I think is going to be the start of something really, really important.
That aims to find alternatives to sending women to prison, cut reoffending and better support children.
Don't boards like this just push the issue further down the line? It's critically important to me that we make progress in this area. We know we're sending too many women to prison and too many of the wrong women are going to prison.
So is that the aim then? You'll close some women's prisons? Do you have like a number that you have in mind?
Ultimately, I would like us to be closing women's prisons. That will be a long road to get to that point because we have to turn the whole system around, so change will take some time.
And how do your plans tally with the Prime Minister's plans for safer streets, being tough on crime? We know that some of these lower crime, shoplifting for example, it's not completely victimless.
No, I fully accept that, of course, as a government, we've set out a very clear stall on our approach to law and order. Often shoplifting type offences are connected to drug dealing and having a male partner who is forcing them into shoplifting. So there's a question here as to who is the real victim and who is the real offender.
The board will report in the spring, where they'll decide on new solutions to age-old problems, all against the backdrop of an ever-stretched budget.